Hey guys, it's Doc. Today we're going to talk about the transition. We're going to talk about the transition from springtime into summertime and some really important information you need to think about and understand. So hold on one sec. Hey guys, it's transition time. We're going to be transitioning from spring to summer. And why am I talking about it now? It's because a lot of products that people put out on their lawn last for 4, 6, and 8 weeks. And so we need to be thinking about those 90-degree temperatures that'll be moving in and possibly some droughts. So we need to understand when we're going to change what we're doing with our feeding program and things we need to do a little bit differently. Before I begin, of course, make sure you click the subscribe button. Once you click the subscribe button, turn on your bell. Also, don't forget, I always put a link in the description below. There is a link in the description below that'll take you to a web page on the website. You can go there and see any of the products that I'm talking about. I have links to them directly to Amazon using the manufacturer's link, not third-party links. I will warn you on the product information. This is a busy time of year and stuff goes out of stock. Super Juice for the third time has sold out this year. This is like May 8th and it'll be back in stock about the 16th, we believe. So if you need some, make sure you get some. Same thing, humic will run out. It just got back in stock. The organic fertilizer just got back into stock. So come back to the website, and I always keep the link active because when you go to Amazon, a lot of times if it's not in stock, it just drops off the face of the earth. I always keep the link and it'll show currently unavailable. Instead of staying out of stock. I don't know why, it says currently unavailable. So just make sure you're aware of that. I'm gonna show you a couple things. I'm gonna show you some cool stuff today. I'm gonna take you up in the air and I'm gonna show you 3 different lawns. We're gonna talk about, I have breadcrumbs here. Why do I have breadcrumbs? Because we're gonna talk about organic fertilizers. I think this will help explain it. We're gonna talk about soil corrections and why we do soil corrections and the difference between a soil correction and supplemental feeding with something like Super Juice. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about understanding the difference between pushing our lawns in the spring and then just allowing them to exist and be happy in the summertime with some healing products. It's a big difference. First, let's talk about springtime. Now, springtime, what we do is we want to push our lawns real heavy. We want that Bermuda to come up. We want it to rise up. We want a lot of energy. Remember that. We want energy in the springtime. We want to push it with fertilizers. We want that energy. We want it spreading. We want it growing. In the summertime, we don't want the energy. So what we do is we want to pull back on the energy factors, especially nitrogen in the summertime, and allow our lawn to exist. That's one of the reasons why right now, this time of year, is the perfect time for Super Juice, because we can control when we put it out based on heat and drought. We can wait for a nice little rain to come through. After the rain comes through, what are we going to do? We're going to spray Super Juice. By the way, just so you know, I may forget this, I'm adding a little bit extra iron to my Super Juice right now. Super Juice does have iron inside of it, but I like to put a little bit of extra iron inside of mine. I'll put a link to that on the website. But what it does is it gives my lawn, you'll see it, it's that real dark emerald green color. It's just real pretty. Basically, iron just forces your lawn to create chlorophyll is what it does. It just really darkens it up nice without putting a whole bunch of nitrogen in the summertime, which is one thing you can do. So you can have a pretty dark green lawn without dumping nitrogen and creating what? Without creating energy, which is what we don't want to do. We don't want to create plant energy when we have heat and drought move in. We just want it to relax and water it, relax and water. Now, you still have time. The only thing I've done to my lawn this year is I've done a soil correction, which you should do every year. Do a soil correction if you get a soil test. Most people don't, but if you get a soil test, that's fine. If not, throw down some 10-10-10. You still have time to throw down some 10-10-10, and I would do it. Even if it's 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet, that's fine. Remember, some people say, well, what about a 13-13-13? That's fine too. It's the same thing. 10-10-10, cheap, go to Lowe's, Home Depot, buy some, throw it out on your lawn, and do that before the next treatment. You can do it with the next treatment too. I'm going to show you here in a minute. But the soil correction, remember, there's a myth out there that granular fertilizers in general feed the plant. They don't. Granular fertilizers dissolve and go into the soil, and then the plant decides what it wants from that. That's the myth. There's a book out called Gardening Myths, and he talks about that in there. That the common myth is that when you put out a granular fertilizer that you're feeding your plant, you're not. You're feeding your soil, and then the plant takes up what it wants. That's why we supplement with the Super Juice. Sometimes the granulars we haven't had rain for a week, so my granular might not be working, so I can go out and I can spray Super Juice. That's just the reason why we came out with Super Juice. It's that wonderful supplement that we can go, if I haven't had rain for 5 days and a big rainstorm comes through, the next day I'm hitting my lawn with Super Juice. Perfect time to do it. So if you haven't done a soil correction, you still have time to do a soil correction. I would recommend, if you're not going to get a soil test, just get some 10-10-10 and put 10-10-10 out on your yard. That's one of the first things I would tell you to do. The next thing, make sure you have Super Juice, because we're going to be using Super Juice throughout the summer, looking for those fertilizer windows when we get a nice rainstorm come in, and then the next day I'm going to go out and spray with Super Juice. It's a great time to do it. Then we're going to do organic fertilizer. We're at that time of year where once my lawn gets established and I feel that my lawn is healthy, thick, and full, when I get closer towards the 90s, and that's the key to it, right now I'm in the 80s, so I don't have any problems. I have rains coming through. But once I start to hit the 90s, I get into the 90s, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out and I'm going to put some organic. Now I have a link over to the organic fertilizer. I'm going to show you me putting that out here in a second. And I want to explain something to you about organics. You may know this, but I'm going to assume you don't. When you have a regular granule fertilizer, let me use the seashells. So I have 3 shells here. I have nitrogen, I have phosphorus, and I have potassium. I crush these up and I put them on the lawn. These are chemicals. These are blocks of chemicals, and they go right into the lawn and they feed. That's why if you don't put out the right amount, if you put out way too much, you can burn your lawn. I got a burn spot where I spilled some about a month ago. So they can actually burn the lawn because you're putting chemicals right on the lawn. This is the chemical you put on the lawn. Organic fertilizers. This is an organic fertilizer, believe it or not. That's an organic fertilizer. Breadcrumbs. Organic fertilizer. Basically what you do, anything that's organic that you put on your lawn, if you put it out on your lawn, what's going to happen is that's going to start to break down. Microbes are going to start to eat it. It's going to start to decay. And when that process happens, the decaying process releases nutrients into the lawn. So this is why I have this today, so you understand, because I know there's some confusion because someone said, hey, can I take the organic fertilizer and mix it with water and spray it on my lawn? And I'm like, no. Can you take breadcrumbs, mix it with water and spray it on your lawn? No, why? Because there's no nutrients in here. There's no nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium inside of here. This is just organic matter. And because what I do is when I sprinkle this organic matter all over my lawn, that organic matter is going to decay. It's going to go through a digestive process. The microbes are going to digest it. And the microbial poo, which is the way I like to say it, as the microbes poo, they release the nutrients into the lawn. And those nutrients will vary based on what you use, whether you use breadcrumbs, pancake mix, whatever. You get the hint? So I'm trying to make it clear that this is the same thing as organic fertilizer. It has no nutrients in it. The only way that nutrients happen is because this gets digested by the little microbes in your lawn, and the microbes poo, and that pooing process is what releases. It's the decaying process. You got it? Got it. So that's why. So if I put out, so here's another great example. If I really put this out, hello butterfly. So if I really put this out super, super heavy, am I going to burn my lawn? No, because there's nothing in there to burn my lawn. That's why you can put out organic fertilizers. The one I'm talking about, you can put it out super, super heavy. I like to put it out at the heaviest rate possible. It's not cheap, but it's a great product. It's a soy-based product. It's been out for many years. It was developed by scientists, and it's a wonderful product, high quality. It's not cheap, and not everyone's going to go for it, but I do it, and I'll tell you why. Number one, you're putting down carbon. There's a 6-to-1 carbon ratio that you're putting on your lawn. Carbon is great for your lawn. You're putting down amino acids. And yes, there are studies out there that say that if you put amino acids, that your lawn can actually benefit from it. You're putting organic matter. Your lawn loves organic matter. It absolutely loves it. And the more organic matter you put on top of your lawn, the healthier your lawn is going to be, because your lawn doesn't get new organic matter. That's one of the reasons why we put humic down, is to help for that missing organic matter. So I'm gonna show you me putting that out in just a minute. But also, one of the things that's important is, if you haven't done a soil correction, here's what I recommend. Go put out 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet right now. Put out 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet of a 10-10-10 to get your soil correction done. That 10-10-10, which isn't a true slow release, it's not encapsulated, that will basically start to dissolve over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Right after that, the same day, put your organic on top of it, and then the same day, go back and spray super juice. Now you're done. You're done for a good 3-4 weeks. You don't have to do anything to your lawn except maybe hit it with a little bit of super juice. That's all I'm doing. There's something really healing about organic fertilizer. Number one, it doesn't push your lawn. It's not like a nitrogen shot. We want to cut back on the nitrogen. And one thing I like to do is I like to put an absolute ton of this stuff on the lawn, and you're going to see really fine new growth. And that's something we noticed last year when we were testing this stuff, is that we saw a lot of fine blades come up. And then we come back with the super juice on top of it. So put down organic real heavy, come back, spray every week or two with the super juice. And again, the way that I use super juice in the summertime is if I haven't had rain for 5 or 6 days and it's hot, I'm not going to put anything on my lawn. But when I have a rainstorm come through, that next day I'm going to go out, or that night I'm going to go out and spray super juice. And that's a good way to do it. Remember, you can control when you put your super juice out. That's what's nice about it. So anyways, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you up in the air. I'm going to show you the 3 lawns. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll take you out and show you me putting out the organic. And I have several videos coming out. Now, the lawn leveling video, I promised you guys, I am working on that video. It's just taking me longer than I thought. We've got power washing videos coming out. We've got fungus videos, and we've got armyworm videos coming out. One thing I did want to mention is I'm starting to see a few armyworm moths. And remember, when you start to see armyworm moths in your yard, you got about 28 days before those eggs hatch. So make sure that you have Duocide, and I put it, there's a link in the description. Make sure you have that product in stock. And I will tell you one thing, if I start to see armyworms out here, I put out the double kill granular product, and then I come out and I spray a little permathin on top of that. So I'll put a link to both of those, and it's devastating to armyworms. It just absolutely wipes them out, that combination. Hey guys, so one of the things, I'm going to walk you real quick. I'm going to walk you through my yard, but you can see that my yard, the front, really is looking really nice. It's super thick. Even though I've had it aerated, the lawn is just absolutely gorgeous, healing up really nicely. Now you can see those white spots over here. Now these white spots over here, that's actually sand. I did have some brown patch and some brown patch. I've had brown patch over here in these areas, and you can see that the brown patch is actually healing up pretty nice. So what I want to do real quick is I want to take you over to the world's worst Bermuda lawn. Now one thing I am going to show you over here, you can see that this is Roundup. One of the maintenance crews oversprayed Roundup over here, but you can see how nice the actual yard looks. And then what I want to do is I want to walk over and show you where I don't treat. And so this is the area I don't treat, back over here, and you can see the difference. That's all solid weeds back here. And then you can see the difference on the front yard, and you can see the big difference on the backyard. It's quite dramatic. Now let's walk over, and I'm going to take you over to Barb's real quick. Okay, so here's Barb's lawn over here. Now this center area, let me show you this. This whole lawn, by the way, was basically clay and weeds when we first started working with it last year. But this area right here, this is actually a natural area that we actually came in and put Bermuda grass in. But I gotta tell you, her lawn is looking pretty good. Super healthy, super thick. But it does need some super juice over here. So like I said, I've been pretty bad about not putting super juice on it. So real quick, I'm trying to catch a cloudy spot so you can see what the 3 lawns look like close up. Close up, here's my lawn. You can see some seed heads starting. That's normal this time of year, by the way. Seed heads are normal. But the lawn looks really nice. So here's Barb's. The reason why I'm doing this is because when you get up high over these, they sort of wash out on you. And again, pretty decent. A little bit of yellowing, so I need to come out here and hit this with super juice and a little bit of iron. But you can see it's nice and thick. But anyways, look at the world's worst Bermuda lawn over here. This is simply amazing, guys. Look at this. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. And look at it now. So now the sun's coming up. But you can see it's just beautiful Bermuda. Common Bermuda too. Now if you're wondering, just so you know real quick, if you're wondering from up above what these spots are, this was a natural area here as well. That's where trees were, and we're filling in these holes over here. But you can see the line over there. Look at the weeds. So I take care up to the front of the house. And then look what it looks like in the back. There's the back of it right there. I mean, that line is pretty dramatic. But I want to show you something here too. Okay, so I sort of stopped. See how this is sort of green in here? Well, I sort of stopped my treatment right about here. But really, their property kind of comes up to here. So here's what I've done. I've put down, see how it's green over here? Well, I've put down a curtain of death, started right here. I sprayed right about here. I put down a curtain of death over in this area. And my curtain of death was 2D4, which is on the website, weed killer. And then I put down the spray pre-emergent. I put them both down at the heaviest rate allowable. And I'll give you an update. I'm gonna come back in 2 weeks or a week or two, and I'm gonna show you how this all browns off. The heavy pre-emergent will keep any of these weed seeds, new weeds, from coming back up, and it has some post-killing abilities. Plus the weed killer will kill off all these weeds. And then in about 4 weeks, we'll see that Bermuda start to come back. So you'll see a dramatic change in here. The heavy setting, you can see it right there. When I put it out the heavy setting, I put it out at about 10 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So this is 40 pounds. This will cover roughly 5,000 square feet per bag is the way I like to do it. So she's got 11 or 12,000 square feet. So I'm going to do at least 2 bags, if not 2.5 bags over there. I'm going to put it out real heavy because her lawn needs some healing. So let's get the healing process started. So this is the organic. Again, it smells wonderful. It smells kind of like a beer factory. Okay, so here's a perfect example to help explain the difference between organic and chemical fertilizers. I stopped here to adjust my camera. And look at all that. Now, with organic fertilizer, if I come back in 2 weeks, there's going to be a big green spot. I'm going to take you over and I'm going to show you what happens with chemicals when you do that, so you help you understand. Again, this has no chemicals in it. This has no nitrogen, whatever. It only has that after it gets digested and eaten slowly. All right. So guess what that is? There's a chemical fertilizer spill right there. There's not a whole lot you can do to fix that. That's about the same amount of organic as I put on there. Again, because it is actual chemicals. Okay, so that's done. So organic is out. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a batch of super juice. Remember, just go to the website. There's a link there for it. It is out of stock right now. Like I said, it should be back in about May 16th. It's sold out 3 times this year already. Just to let you know, they're trying to keep up with production, but it's hard this time of year. Everyone wants fertilizer. But I'll go back, and now what I'll do is I've put my organic down, and right away you can go back and spray super juice right on top of the organic. It'll also stimulate microbial activity, which is good for the organic. I'll probably add an additional touch of liquid iron, and I do have a link over on the website to the liquid iron. And I usually add about 1 cup per 5,000 square feet, and my lawn is just stays dark emerald green without pushing growth. And that's what a lot of golf courses do. A lot of golf courses will actually come out with a heavy iron spray to darken, make it dark green, especially for the TV camera. They'll come out and they'll make that lawn, that the grass is really that dark green without pushing growth. Some people talk about growth inhibitors. Well, just stop putting nitrogen on your lawn if your lawn is healthy, and just add a little bit of extra iron. It's a really good trick in the summertime. So that's about it, guys. So remember, just switch over. When you start to get hot, it starts to get in the 90s, it starts to get drought-like, you just want to be careful about putting heavy nitrogen on your lawn. It's the one thing you don't want to do. It's fine in the springtime and up until the 80s. As long as you get in the 80s, you're getting that rain. But when you start to hit the 90s and you start to get into these drought periods, you really don't want to put a whole bunch down on your lawn. Hopefully your lawn is established enough by then. Don't forget, lots of videos coming out. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you later. Doc.